Don't try to fucking intimidate me.
My hair's all staticky. Oh no. Wow, that was a shit 4.0. Whoa.
You blew up a pumpkin, so that's technically a blumpkin.
The bumpkin, and it was a bumpkin 4.0. Welcome back, typical 2.9ers. What? A bumpkin 4.0?
Do you know what blumpkin means?
A blumpkin?
Look it up in your free time, but don't say blumpkin on film again.
Did I say blumpkin?
I said it originally.
Oh.
It was a joke. Balloon pumpkin.
I thought you said bumpkin. Like a
country bumpkin?
Yeah, like a country bumpkin. And I was like, yeah.
I thought you just repeated blumpkin over.
Maybe. I don't know. Rewind the tapes. Still don't know. And to those who just found out, there's no extra credit for real life adulting. For those who don't know, welcome to Blowing a 4.0, where I just fucking hit the table and created yet another bruise on my arm. The channel where we make you understand life is more of a Halloween maze than a straightforward path to success. All of these ghouls jumping out at you.
I'm pretty scared.
Today we're talking about a holiday that makes even failing a little more fun. That's right, it's Halloween! Ghosts and spooky spiders and bloop 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 bloop. The only day when it's totally acceptable to be a ghoul, or just eat an absurd amount of candy. So grab your witch's hats, your vampire tea, and whatever's left of your dignity as we dive into the most spookiest day of the year.
Hey, listen up. Before we start our weekly scheduled podcast, we'd like to cover our asses. The content in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes alone and should not be interpreted or construed as official advice or instruction of any kind. We're blowing a 4.0, so please listen responsibly and enjoy.
What the fuck is Halloween? Now I know what you're thinking.
Dax, we already know what Halloween is.
You get candy, you dress up like you crawled out of a Tim Burton movie.
Or, what is that movie called?
Or a Mean Girls movie, and watch reruns of Hocus Pocus.
Sure, but Halloween actually has a deep spooky history filled with ghosts, spirits, and ancient Celtic farmers. What?
Celtic farm.
Celtic.
They're not basketball players, homie.
Bloopers. Ancient Celtic farmers? Yeah, that's right. Halloween started off as a festival called Samhain. Samhain? Pronounced so-in. Samhain.
Samhain?
Pronounced and called Samhain, but definitely spelled differently, like on the screen right here. Over 2,000 years ago, when people thought the dead might come back for a visit. No, not the in-laws, actually dead people. That's funny. It was a welcome back party, but instead of cake and balloons, they had bonfires and sacrifices. Honestly, things have changed a lot, but don't worry. We'll warm your hands by the bonfire of knowledge, not actual fire, in this video. But only in this one. Where did Halloween come from? Let's get into the nitty gritty. The earliest roots of Halloween can be traced to the ancient Celtic, not to be confused with Celtics, festival of Samhain. Celebrated over 2,000 years ago, Celts, yep, I'm gonna keep fucking up this word because of basketball, by the Celts who lived in what is now Ireland, the United Kingdom, and northern France. Samhain marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. Insert a clip from Game of Thrones.
Winter is coming.
A time associated with death. The Celts believed that on the night of October 31st, the boundary between the living and the dead was blurred, allowing the spirits of the deceased to return to the earth. Isn't it to this realm, though? To the earth realm. Hoo-ha. And that was from Finding Nemo, like Shark Bait. Hoo-ha-ha. Not to be confused with other things.
Nemo, newcomer of orange and white.
The earliest roots of Halloween can be traced to the ancient Celtics. I'm gonna keep calling them Celtics. Can be traced to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Wait, what? There's double paragraphs. Sorry. All right, perfect. Large bonfires were lit to ward off malevolent spirits and to symbolize the sun, offering protection from the dark winter ahead. People would burn crops and sacrifice animals to the Celtic deities as part of their rituals.
Still on it.
Thank you. During Samhain, the Celtics wore costumes, typically made from animal skins to disguise themselves from evil spirits or to appease them. This early form of costuming was a way to blend in with the supernatural forces believed to be present during the night. Druid, the Celtic priest, conducted ceremonies that included prophecies and divinations, seeking guidance for the coming year. Apples, nuts, and other harvest foods were often used in these divination practices. By the time of the Roman Empire's conquest of Celtic territories around 43 AD, that means after death, two Roman festivals became intertwined with Samhain. This late October festival commemorated,
It's a rom-com.
that's the word? Yep.
Nailed it.
Commemorated the dead much like Samhain. The Romans also celebrated the festival of Pomona. Pomona. That sounds right.
They were Southern Californian. We'll solve.
The Romans also celebrated the festival of Pomona. We just said this word. Pomona. Pomona.
Put it on screen.
Yep. The goddess of fruit and trees. Pomona's symbol was the apple, which may explain the modern custom of bobbing for apples during Halloween. Oh, isn't that cute? They're bobbing for pomonas. As Christianity spread across Europe, the church sought to replace pagan festivals with Christian ones. In 609 AD, Pope Boniface IV, 1V.
1V is fourth.
Pope Boniface IV created All Saints' Day, also known as All Hallows' Day, to honor Christian martyrs and saints. Initially, it was celebrated in May, but in 835 AD, which I don't know why I'm stumbling on those dates, maybe because it's not the original 1835 or 19 something, Pope Gregory III moved it to November 1st, likely as a way to Christianize Samhain. Was that the word?
Yes.
To Christianize Samhain. The evening before All Saints' Day became known as All Hallows' Eve, which later evolved to Halloween. That's cute. Soon after, All Souls' Day, November 2nd, was established to honor the dead, reinforcing the connection between Christian practices and ancient pagan beliefs about the afterlife. Together, these three celebrations, All Hallows' Eve, All Saints' Day, and All Souls' Day, became known as Hallow Mass, not to be confused with Christmas. And medieval, we're doing great, sweetie.
Doing great, sweetie.
In medieval England, the practice of souling emerged, where poor people would go door to door asking for food in exchange for prayers for the dead. In return for the soul cake, called a soul cake, they would promise to pray for the souls of the family's deceased loved ones. Children would often dress up as saints, angels, or demons, going from house to house to perform songs, recite prayers, or perform tricks in exchange for food or money. An early form of modern trick-or-treating, which is what we come around to today. Saying trick-or-treat.
Trick-or-treat!
You know, what if I told the kid you have to do a trick for a treat? What would they do?
Call the police.
The fucking
You're the reason why we have trunk or treat now.
trunk or treat. Oh, cute. Get in the trunk or you don't get a treat.
You're gonna get a phone call
From my mom.
from the FBI.
I'll be like, oh my God, can I work for you?
No.
During the Middle Ages, the growing association between Halloween and witchcraft, spirits, and the supernatural began to solidify.
Yes.
With the rise of witch hunts, which I just saw that as witch nuts, and Europe and North America, fear of witches and evil spirits was a significant part of Halloween folklore. People believed that witches gathered on Halloween night to perform their rituals, and many Halloween customs, such as carving pumpkins and lighting candles, were meant to protect people from their malevolent forces. Superstitions about ghosts, black cats, and bats, thought to be connected to witches, became common during this time. Carving turnips into grotesque faces, later replaced by pumpkins whenever it came to America,
Fuck yeah.
was a popular way to ward off evil spirits. Maybe we should turn back to turnips, because I wouldn't want to come to a door that has turnips all over it. Pumpkins, on the other hand, are pretty cute.
They're pretty inviting.
Yep.
Maybe if we carved grotesque faces in the pumpkins.
But that doesn't work either.
Fill the pumpkins with shit? I don't know.
Immigration and the American Halloween boom. How Halloween got to America, pretty much. Now, you're probably wondering how Halloween ended up becoming the candy-fueled nightmare we know today. Nightmare of what? Chocolatey goodness from the Charlie Chocolate Factory?
It's chocolate.
That's where the Irish came in. After a little thing called the potato famine, look it up, history is fucking wild, Irish immigrants brought their traditions to America, including carving turnips into lanterns to ward off evil spirits. Why would you carve a turnip into a lantern?
Ward off evil spirits. Were you not paying attention just now?
Yeah, turnips.
Yeah, turn up.
But when they got there, they realized pumpkins were way easier to carve. And boom, jack-o'-lanterns were born right here. Bless you.
Oh, baby Jesus.
No, that's the demon. What about the whole trick-or-treating thing? That didn't really start catching on until the early 20th century. Before that, kids were just out here causing chaos and smashing pumpkins like it was their job. So pretty much the same thing that we do anyways, but except now we turn it into a photo shoot with our best friends. But eventually communities figured out that bribing them with candy was easier than cleaning up toilet paper from their trees. Thus, trick-or-treating became the wholesome tradition we love and know today. Halloween was largely brought to North America by Irish and Scottish immigrants in the 19th century. The Irish potato famine of the 1840s led to a wave of immigration, and with it came the traditions of Samhain and All Hallows Eve. However, Halloween initially faced resistance in Halloween initially faced resistance in Protestant New England due to its...
One, it's Protestant. Two, we forgot again.
Look, it's our script.
Take it from the top.
No. Where was I? Protestant? Not Protestant?
No.
Okay.
Get on with it!
Halloween initially faced resistance in Protestant New England due to its Catholic and pagan root, thriving more in places where there were large populations of Irish and Scottish Catholics. In the late 19th and early 20th century, Halloween began to lose much of its religious and spiritual significance and become more of a community-based holiday. In the early 20th century, the practice of guising, didn't we learn this word yesterday? Guising, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, we learned the word guise.
Yeah, and now it's ing at the end.
So under the guise of disguise.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. That's correct, right? The practice of guising evolved into trick-or-treating, with children dressing up in costumes and going door to door, asking for candy rather than food or money.
Spider-Man, give me your candy!
People still ask for fucking money, by the way.
Do they really?
Yep.
You can do that? What is that?
That's the garbage truck.
I can hear it clear as day.
Oh, that's my ride. Gotta go. By the 1930s, this had become a widespread tradition in the United States. As Halloween became more commercialized in the early 20th century, it transitioned into a holiday focused on parties, costume games, and fun, and fun, rather than its more somber roots. Schools, communities, and civic groups began organizing holiday parades and parties to divert attention from the more destructive aspects of Halloween, such as vandalism and pranks, which had become common during the holiday. Halloween. In the 21st century, Halloween isn't just an American thing anymore. Nope, the spooky season is global, baby.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
From Canada to Mexico with Dia de los Muertos, which is a whole awesome other celebration that we will not touch on today, to the UK and even parts of Asia, people are getting into the fun now. Whether it's haunted houses, zombie walks, or throwing costume parties, Halloween has evolved into a worldwide celebration of all things spooky, creative, and let's be honest, sugary. Not scary, sugary.
Sugar dates and figs!
And horror movies? Yeah, the film industry has claimed horrorween. Apparently it's now horrorween instead of Halloween.
That sounds racist. Horrorween.
Horrorween. Yeah, the film industry has claimed Halloween as their own too. Think Halloween, shout out to Michael Myers, or literally every scary movie where someone's running through a haunted house while the audience screams, "Don't go in there!" Classic.
Peak performance.
I know, literally, peak to the reds. Carving pumpkins, originally turnips in Ireland, remember that, folk, into jack-o'-lanterns. What if someone just carves my face into a pumpkin? My name is Jax. I used to be made fun of in school called jack-o'-lantern, or jackalope. Yep. Is a custom that originated from the Irish legend of Stingy Jack.
Based upon their pronunciation of that holiday, I don't know. I have no guess.
I don't know how to say that. Is it stingy?
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 I think so.
Stingy?
Samhain was pronounced whatever, so I have no fucking idea if that's what it actually is.
Stingy Jack. As a custom originated from the Irish legend of Stingy Jack, who tricked the devil and was condemned... Oh, maybe it is Stingy Jack.
Okay.
Who tricked the devil and was condemned to roam the earth for eternity. People would carve frightening faces into vegetables and place the candle inside to ward off Jack and other wandering spirits. Halloween costumes have their own origin in the ancient practice of dressing up to avoid recognition by spirits, like we talked about earlier. Over time, these costumes have become more elaborate, ranging from traditional ghosts and witches to pop culture characters, reflecting the increasingly commercial nature of the holiday. like when we dress up like 13 going on 30. The rise of haunted attractions began in the mid-20th century and exploded in popularity in the 1970s and 1980s. Haunted houses, mazes, and hayrides are now staples of Halloween entertainment. By the mid-20th century, Halloween had become one of the most commercially significant holidays in the United States. Candy companies, costume manufacturers, and retailers capitalized on the growing popularity of the holiday, turning it into a multi-billion-dollar industry. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. The Halloween-themed goods now range from decorations and costumes to specialized food and party supplies. Halloween is the largest candy purchasing holiday of the year in the United States. From simple homemade costumes to intricate designs, Halloween costumes for children and adults represent a massive portion of the Halloween's commercial appeal. Haunted ghosts, yep, apparently ghosts get haunted. Haunted houses, ghost tours, and other spooky-themed events draw millions of visitors each year. While Halloween originated in Europe, the modern, highly commercialized version of the holiday has spread worldwide, particularly through American culture. Exports like movies, TV shows, and consumer products. Countries across the globe, from Canada to Japan, have embraced the Halloween to varying degrees, though the holiday has different cultural meanings in each place. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. In some countries, Halloween is still viewed through a spiritual or superstitious lens, while in others, it is more about costumes, parties, and community events. For example, Dia de los Muertos is closely tied to Halloween in timing, but it has its own distinct customs, focusing on honoring deceased loved ones. Halloween has become a popular event in major cities, particularly for costume parties and parades, though it lacks the door-to-door trick-or-treating tradition. Some critics of Halloween point out that the holiday's commercialization has moved it away from its spiritual and cultural origins. Others, especially the religious communities, see it as promoting paganism, the occult, or consumerism. Despite these concerns, Halloween continues to thrive as a festive and adaptable holiday, often shaped by local customs and beliefs. So what did we learn today? Halloween started as a bonfire bash for the spirits. Woo! Got a makeover from the Romans and Christians, and finally became the candy-coated chaos we know and love thanks to the Irish immigrants and some smart community bribery tactics. Gotta love America. But there's so much more spooky stuff we didn't even touch on yet. But that's it for today's dive into the creepy, kooky world of Halloween history. Don't worry though, we've only scratched the surface of this haunted holiday. There's more terrifying pumpkin spice content coming in part 2 that I didn't even know about, where we'll dig into even weirderness. Is that a word? Okay. So remember, hit that subscribe button if you're a 2.9er. Next time we're going to dig up more skeletons from Halloween's closet and maybe even talk about some weirdest modern traditions, if I could talk. But for now, I'm signing off before I make this holiday even scarier than it is. Ow, that was my face.